Well, both ultimate infestations in hand, no spiteful summoners to be seen, feels really bad. If it happens once, you think it's an RNG fluke, but then look, it happens again. Both UIs in hand, no spiteful summoners to be seen, but at least in this game we got Keleseth down pretty early, which felt good. But then look, it happens again, no spiteful summoner value this time because they're both in hand, but then both UIs are in hand too. So third game felt bad, but then finally in this game against a Warlock I managed to get spiteful summoner value from ultimate infestation. Finally, it felt good. On turn 7, about to get the win. This is a pretty sick board. The Warlock really didn't know what to do in this instance. And even if he'd had a board clear, we still had UI in hand for a hand refill, plus Leroy for a bit more damage. So today I'm playing Iksar's Spiteful Druid, and this is a standard mode deck, and the idea really is to play Spiteful Summoner, make sure that Ultimate Infestation is in your deck, not your hand, and then you start summoning these massive minions that cost 10. And then you've got other ways of gaining value in this deck. You have Prince Keleseth to buff your deck. You also have the likes of Greedy Sprite for mana ramp, so it brings you closer to your Spiteful Summoner plays, and also brings you closer to playing Ultimate Infestation as well. The deck also has the Grand Archivist, so you can start casting those Ultimate Infestations. The targets seem to be chosen randomly, which can be pretty annoying because sometimes you are your own face. And of course, one of my favourite cards, Malfurion the Pestilent, the Druid Death Knight for some cool armor gain. So let's have a look at this deck in action. Now, given my past luck with Spiteful Summoners and not drawing them in time, always getting the UIs first, if I see 2 Spiteful Summoners, I'm going to keep them. I'm absolutely going to keep them. Now, bit of a slow start. No Keleseth, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We have Mind Control Tech. Now this is a card that's seeing a little bit of a comeback, and I'm happy that it is because it's one of those cards which can really swing games. Your opponent has 4 minions on board. Let's say 3 out of 4 are relatively high impact minions. You steal one of those high impact minions, and then the complexion of the game changes. They then may have to work very hard to trade into that minion. It's a very effective distraction. So it then buys you a little bit more time to build up your board and to make a bit of a comeback. See, I'm a big fan of Mind Control Tech. I know a lot of people hate it. A lot of people think it's a card that shouldn't be played, a card that shouldn't exist, a card that's a little bit unfair. But speaking of unfair, Spiteful Summoner. So, what 10 cost minion do I get? Okay, we get an 8/8. There are better 10 cost minions than Emeris. There's Deathwing, there's Tarantus. There are better minions. But I'll take an 8/8. It's reasonable. It's reasonable. You know, if you think about it, you're paying 6 to get 12/12 worth of stats. It's not too bad. So, let's play it again. And what do we get? Okay. We get another Emrys. It's fine. It's still a massive body. And my opponent's going to struggle to get rid of both of those 8 attack minions, I suspect. So maybe... I was going to say maybe we're doing 8 to the face. Let's see. Do we silence that? Or do we just punch through it and develop 2 minions here? Yeah, punching through it seems fine. Happy to develop mind control tech. There may be something more significant in his deck to silence. Ferocious Howl. Interesting. It feels right developing the Death Knight here and the Taunt minions. Now I'm playing into Spreading Plague. So if he has Spreading Plague, it's not too bad because we do have some buffed up minions here. We also have Mind Control tech, we have Silence. And I'm interested in pushing as much damage now as I can, hence why I attacked his face with my hero power rather than armouring up. Seeing all of the taunts here, well, we know what's going to happen. He's going to look to resurrect those taunts very, very soon. And we need to kill him before that happens. Silencing a taunt minion that gives health on death rattles, pretty cool. And again, just trying to do as much damage as I can to his face here. Just trying to get that damage in before he resurrects those taunts.
Fluffy, Snuggles, fetch.
So what is this? A Taunt Dragon Druid? How interesting. Anyway, it's over. His deck was too slow in the end. Didn't even need to use Mind Control tech. But there's rank 5. Feels good. Okay, let's look at another game. We're going up against a mage. So, keeping the Crypt Lord there feels reasonable. Maybe I should have mulliganed it away, and maybe you should be searching desperately for those Spiteful Summoners. And Keleseth, of course. Keleseth is pretty cool to get. I rarely get Keleseth in the first half of my deck. I rarely draw him. And it's pretty awkward when he's in sort of the last 5 or 10 cards and he's not getting you much value.
Spectacular.
Time runs out on me.
So next turn, we have a choice of 3 drops. We need to think about which one is best to play. Perhaps we play the Tar Creeper.
What to do?
I mean, both minions contest the 2-1. The Tar Creeper contests the 2-3 as well. So I think that's worth doing. He'll have to double trade and potentially ping 2, and hopefully that is his entire turn. Okay, 2 shots went phase. Oh, he's doing it again. Wow. Oh, right. That's pretty awkward. The RNG there on those missiles is pretty crazy. Okay, so there's a UI. We really don't want to see UI until we've seen both Spiteful Summoners. So that's pretty unfortunate. But regardless, he's still going to have to work pretty hard now to get through my taunt. if he invests a big spell into that, then maybe it's worthwhile. Oh, look. There it is. The second UI. So it's happening again. And as you saw at the start of the video, I ran into a lot of bad luck with this deck, drawing both UIs first, and then I ran into a small spell of good luck, and then I thought those bad days were behind me, but clearly not. As you can see, both UIs are in my hand, and that's quite upsetting. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Once we do get to turn 10, they will come in handy still. They will help refill my hand. But in preparation for that, I guess I need to dump as many cards out of my hand as quickly as possible, so that once we do get to turn 10, we don't overdraw after playing UI. Okay, explosive runes, fair enough. Despite the explosive runes, we still get the health buff there on our taunt, which is awesome. And I'm eyeing up the Mana Worm now as a potential silence target. I guess it's reasonable, right? What else am I gonna silence in his deck? Yeah. He's watching that taunt grow and he's thinking, yeah, not getting through that. So that was a pretty sweet win against the mage. Okay, let's look at this next little clip. Now, going up against the Warlock, as you can see, I've got quite a substantial board in play here. And he's going to have to do something quite drastic here in order to put himself back into contention. I keep getting Emrys. I just want Deathwing, right? I just want Deathwing. Why do I keep getting Emrys?
Spectacular.
And this Warlock clearly thinking things through here very carefully. I mean, tapping doesn't seem good here. But he's got a spell stone. Okay, so that helps him a little bit. We actually don't have any kind of lethal here, but we're very, very close. We're very, very close. Now here's what's interesting. As a Warlock, what can you now do on your turn 8 which will let you survive this turn? There is always Twisting Nether, which is a possibility, although I'm seeing that less. And there it is. Yeah, I'm seeing it played a lot less now. They sort of just rely on the tempo that they get from their demons and use the demons to dominate the board, make favourable trades. Right, so we put him to 1 health. Question, can he survive? Is there anything he can do here to bring himself back into the game? So he's got to account for 3 damage hero power. He's got to account for 2 damage on board, that's 5. So he blocks it with a taunt. Well, I've got a surprise for you. The best use of Ultimate Infestation ever. Forget the card draw, forget the 5/5 summon. You hit face with it, you kill your opponent, and you go to rank 4. That is the best use of Ultimate Infestation. Okay, so Iksar's Spiteful Druid. So, fun deck. Maybe it could do with a little bit more ramp, but you know, in order to play Prince Keleseth, we have to sacrifice Wild Growth. Is that worth it? I rarely ever get Keleseth value. You know, 9 times out of 10, I don't draw him early enough. He's always sitting in the bottom of my deck. So I would be tempted to remove Prince Keleseth from this deck and to replace him with something else, because he's just not seeing any value for me. The games where you get Spiteful Summoner on 6 or Spiteful Summoner before you draw Ultimate Infestation, those games tend to often be instant wins, especially if you're facing an opponent that doesn't have any kind of board clears in hand, any kind of single target removal. The big fat minions that you get from Spiteful Summoner can just be game winning there and then. Mind Control tech has won me some games. It's surprised my opponents. It's delayed them. It's bought me time, and it has won me games. Mindbreaker is another really interesting card that I'm becoming a big fan of. It's really helped me against priests who play Shadow Reaper Anduin, and now they find that they can't actually hero power and do damage. Yeah, it's pretty soul destroying for them. But going up against other opponents like Hunters, for example, cutting out their upgraded 3 damage hero power is a pretty significant in itself. So yes, Mindbreaker, big fan of that card, and hey, maybe you can protect it with some of your other minions or your taunts. So yeah, Iksar Spiteful Druid. Effective for me on the ladder. It's as you saw, it's helped me rank up. You just need a little bit of good RNG on your side, a bit of good positive sort of draw mechanics. In other words, draw your Spiteful Summoners first before you draw your UIs, and it's pretty much a done deal. You win. So yeah, if you have positive RNG in Hearthstone, then this is a really good deck for you. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe. I would be grateful. And I'll see you guys all again very soon for more standard mode or wild mode fun.